Hello, everyone. My name is AP the Weird One, and welcome back to episode 2 of Full Metal Panic Second Raid, The Scene Below the Water. This episode was not great. I did not like it, and I'm not sure what would have made it necessarily better. I will say that I looked a little bit into the light novel. This does not happen in the light novel. This is kind of original material, which doesn't make sense considering the light novel, like Volume 4, was already out by then, but whatever. Anyway, this episode is kind of in two structures. We meet two new characters, these two sisters in Hong Kong, along with this kind of crazy bastard guy that looks kind of like Eggman. And then we have the scene at the high school dealing with Kamina Sosuke about trying to catch a pervert, someone who's taking pictures around the school. And it kind of leads to it's a revelation or about something that happened in the early beginning. But yeah, it was a weird episode. Maybe it's just because of the high school comedy aspect. I'm like, not necessarily a big fan of it, but we'll take it as is. So let's start with a bit of information that we got that's kind of near the beginning. So more a little about the Lambda Drive. It is another nickname for it is it's a hidden string repulsion field generation system, and we kind of learn that it can only be operated under certain circumstances, like when you're at you're most stressed out or like you're about to basically die, like moments before death. And they've determined that the reason Sosuke doesn't activate all the time because he has to be in these circumstances, but the reason that Garon could activate is probably because he was under drugs. He used some kind of drugs that forced him into this feeling, so not a good idea. The wielder of the behemoth, he was kind of a whispered, so a variation of whispered, so he didn't probably need the drugs, but potentially we do know that he did have drugs. He had to take certain drugs to keep his mind in a certain position, so a similar effect maybe. But anyway, so we get a little bit more about that, and they're trying to figure out a plan to be able to get around the Lambda Drive system for those enemies who will potentially have in the future. Next up, we meet these two girls, and yes, we have fan service. Very nice boobies, nice, kind of nice buttocks, very fine characters. They're kind of mercenary characters. In this episode, they go to the city of Balak with this guy. He's a little bit of our Eggman. We don't exactly know who he is, but he kind of was able to recount the events of what happened with Mithril and everything. He was pretty spot on his accuracy. He's a bit crazy, kind of in right head. He likes to pull strings. He's kind of psychotic. He's kind of like in the same sanity. You can never really tell with them, but he's going to be kind of like our main villain, aside from another villain, which I'll get into in a moment. But these segments, I actually kind of did like. I liked going around. I just didn't like when they cut back to Kamina's situation. That was like, this is one of those where I kind of felt like the episode could have been a bit shorter. Kamina's situation could be a little bit better, or we dealt more with these three characters, the two sisters and this guy. The girls talk about Sensei, and it's believed to be Garon, which I'm unsure why they would talk about him. Maybe there's some plot twists where they're actually like this, like sisters of daughters of him, or whatever, or he mentored them. Regardless, the segments were nice. I mean, the fan service, take what it is, all right. But these things were kind of a little bit more enjoyable. And of course, we saw the return of this thing, the Shadow. Although it was in a gray color, so it did not look very good. I liked a little bit more reddish colors of it. But hey, I'm not gonna complain too much. But near the end, we get teased this character. I know who this character is. This is Tessa's older brother. I did look it up. His name is Leonard. He's interesting character. I do like him. He does get a little bit of unhinged when Tessa can push his buttons. So we'll be seeing him a little bit more in the future. We did get teased in the episode 0 about this character. But yeah, I'm going to say this is Leonard. So we get, they talk a little bit The sister talked with him a little bit. But let's move on to Kamina's situation. So early in the episode, I'm trying to move my camera. Early episode, she wakes up, some nice shots, feet and boobs. She gets camera shot like someone took a picture. And based off what we learned a little bit later, I think this is actually Wraith. But when she gets to school and dealing with Sosuke and everything, they learn there's the guy who's perverting around, taking inappropriate pictures of her, pictures that could ruin her reputation. It's going back and forth. It's the kind of the more comedy aspect from like season 1 and from what I recall of reading the short stories in Fumafu. Sort of that comedy jinx. It's not my cup of tea. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't executed properly or whatever, but it was getting kind of annoying. Maybe the faster, like the smoother animation was also a bit of a problem. I don't know. I felt like from watching season 1, I felt like the previous company. Who is it? Season 1. Gonzo maybe handled that a little bit better. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird situation, but yeah, we get the track down. They manage to get rid of the pictures and everything, but then it's like, well, are you the person who took a picture in the beginning with the in the morning? And like, no, it's different. Sosuke kind of seemed to blow it off, so I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking. It's Wraith. It looked male, which maybe I just because I've read the light novels, I know what Wraith is and everything. So, but I believe that is Wraith. I don't think it's from anybody from Agamemnon. I think there are some discussions in the light novel like talking about that, but I don't remember 100%. But yeah, so overall, this episode was just. I wanted to see more of the villain side, and Kamina's situation was just like, to me. I wasn't personally digging it. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time for episode 3 this Friday, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. I'm very curious to. This season's gonna be a bit weird and trying to figure out like in conjunction with the light novel. So, but anyway, that's more on me, not about you. Hopefully, you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys next time.